Hey everybody, Evan Kirstel here. I'm super excited on this Monday morning to have what I hope will be an incredible conversation with two healthcare professionals, doctors, a surgeon, a physician entrepreneurs. Let me introduce them and get right to it. Rafael Grossmann, how are you?
I am well, Evan, and Javier. It's such an honor to be here. So glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here, and you have so much unique perspective and insight to share. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy evening, morning here at the hospital to chat with us. And Dr. Javier Mendoza, nice to see you. Maybe introduce yourself and
Thank
where
you.
are you calling in from?
Thank you, Evan. It's an honor to be here with you and with my friend Rafael. I'm right now in South Spain, so 6 hours ahead. I'm a gastroenterologist and yeah, focusing digital health and with many points of common with Rafael. So
So let's dive right in. And Rafael, it's always challenging to introduce you. You do so much, you have so many unique perspectives. Maybe introduce yourself, your work to the viewers here.
Yeah, well, I'm a general surgeon. I'm a clinician, full-time clinician. That's what I do. That's where, at least, my passion is. One of my passions,
Mm.
taking care of patients. And I'm originally from Venezuela. I trained in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as a surgeon, and then for the last 2.5 decades or so, or 1.5 decades, I've been really also trying to create the ecosystem of technology and healthcare, trying to tap into the power, the smart use of technology to improve how we do medicine, how we teach, how we learn, how we connect and communicate. From the days back in telemedicine, when we were doing telemedicine with mobile devices, with iPod Touch devices, doing trauma, acute care consultations in rural Maine, to the days of extended reality and generative AI, and going by the way of doing the first operation with Google Glass almost actually 10 years ago, to the date almost, and have been a very interesting journey, really trying to exploit in a way the power of technology to make us do a more humane medicine, to make the most important qualities of a physician, empathy, compassion, to highlight by the way of using technology.
Yeah, fantastic mission. I think we had a couple of technical glitches. We need to upgrade hospital Wi-Fi. That's one of the first things we need to get in order. And Dr. Mendoza, how did you come into contact with Rafael personally, professionally? What was the connection there across continents?
well, that story I told in my last post in LinkedIn, saying that when I studied in 2017 my master in digital health, I studied articles written by Rafael, and I saw all these TED talks, and I said, "Oh my God, he's an amazing doctor." So
Mhm.
little by little, we have in contact, and we have this point of view of the future of healthcare is it will be with technology, and digital health is the future, but we have these values, so we have to teach, we have to educate new healthcare professionals and say we are medical doctor from another century, so all the ethics, all the empathy we have to talk about. And when I talk with Rafael, yeah, what is the last technology that you try, or the last company that has impact on you? But at the same time, Rafael told me, tonight I'm on call, or tomorrow I will have to do many endoscopies. And so we have this point of view, the future with technology, but the values to still seeing and taking care of our patients.
Yeah, putting the patients at center when you have all this technology is an interesting question. And now we have the rise of AI in healthcare and in digital health. what are some of the challenges ethically, from the patient standpoint, from you as the healthcare provider? What are the roadblocks that we have to overcome there? Any thoughts, Rafael, to start?
Yeah, no, that's a great topic, Evan, and that's something that Javier and I have been, talking a lot about. As you know, AI has finally taken the first seat, really, in at least in the talks about technology, and especially in healthcare. Healthcare is one of the industries that has been really driving this, I think, and one of the industries that is going to be most affected by the use of generative AI, especially large language models. And but we think it's really important to highlight that and those important special qualities of a humane physician or healthcare providers can be aided, can be emphasized, enhanced, augmented by the proper use of specifically generative AI. We need to, I think, talk about the ethical use of generative AI or ethical AI in digital health. I think that is really a most important point if we are going to really, in a proper manner, apply this godlike technology, if you will, in medicine. I think that it has the potential to break the chains of digital health inappropriately applied. For the last 20 some years, really from patients by force, by the way of having us do more electronic commenting and being in front of computers 80% times rather than being in front of our patients 80% of the times. And I think that AI has the power to really reverse that trend and make us really much more humane, going back to the physician that sits on the patient's bed and embraces the patient or cries with the patient or smiles and laughs with the patient, giving bad news or good news. I think that AI has that power. I think that the technology is going to become very much sooner than we thought parallel to almost human cognition, to human intelligence. People talk about augmented general intelligence being a thing of the next 5 years rather than the next 50 years. And that is a fact. And if we think about those artificial entities working together with a human caregiver that has those qualities that computers or algorithms will never possess. Again, empathy, compassion, love, all those things, I think that can be enhanced by the proper use of generative AI.
Wow, that's just giving me chills, Rafael. So, and it's not because I'm here in Boston and it's getting chilly. And what say you, Javier, in terms of the challenges and the opportunities? Where do you fall on the spectrum of concerned versus optimistic about the deployment of AI digital health tools right now as you see it in the real world?
Well, I am optimistic, but realistic also. And now there's these whole movements of regulation and ethics. Until now, this sentence, so United States develop, China copy, that is not true anymore, and Europe do regulation. That sentence is not true anymore. But there's a concern about all these, and it's important. We are focusing in our patients, and that's why after talk, we say, okay, let's start an initiative. Let's start a revolution, because we have this future in front of us, but we are still with our patients. And I love when Rafael tell me stories about the patients. So I was working in the Netherlands, and my Dutch was not perfect, but these patients that talked to me, and I said, sorry, the next appointment I will be out of the hospital. And he started to cry. I think that's important. Many people talk about the digital health and they say, okay, sorry to ask, but what's your background? I say, no, I did, I don't know, social media. And I said, okay, but you don't have this feel that it's important to be close to the patients, and we still feel that. So yeah, we start all this idea of the ethical digital health revolution that maybe Rafael can tell a little more. But yeah, we are very excited about that.
So the ethical digital health revolution, describe a vision, Rafael, of what that might look like. We've all experienced digital health, telehealth tools, through the pandemic. We've seen the upside and downside, and there's so many emerging applications that present so many opportunities, but what are the risks that we might not be aware of? Oh, and I think we have.
I think
we have some technical. There we go. We got you back.
Yeah, Javier and I have been talking about this quite a bit, right? And I think that as physicians, as practicing physicians, people who care for patients on a daily basis and know the goods and the bads, the frustrations and the rewards of medicine, we need to approach artificial intelligence, the new wave of generative AI applied to healthcare in a very cautious way. It is important that practicing physicians, as ourselves and many others, really see these tools as an instrument to be able to highlight, again, those very important qualities, main qualities of a healthcare provider. We want to we sat down and talked about this, and we say we need to sort of start creating a sort of a forefront of opinion, vocalizing the of a physician to be unleashed again, proper use of AI, not just have AI be as a tool to in medicine, right? As a tool to improve how we bill and how we document and how we save time and not regain that opportunity, regain that time as an opportunity to then be closer to our patients in humane way. I think that that's important, and we thought, maybe we can, create a movement of sorts. Maybe we can go to different venues, conferences, the different events that are out there in regards to the use of technology in healthcare, and the events that we all know, from health to HIMSS to the Mobile World Congress to Global Health or LEAP or Arab Health. There are many events, but I think that the ethical use of AI in healthcare needs to be one of those pillars of any of these gatherings, so that people realize that it's not just about making the processes more efficient, being able to of objective data and whatnot, but primarily be able to rescue those qualities of those human qualities of healthcare providers.
Fantastic approach. And Javier, what are the risks of AI and some of the more advanced tools, perpetuating health disparities? We have a for-profit model here in the U.S., unlike in Spain, so there is a propensity to deploy technology that gives us ROI and maximizes profit and performance, and that always isn't the best for patients. What is the balancing act there with tech of any kind, not just AI and all the digital health tools?
Well, I like that the sentence that I heard a few weeks ago, and it was for generative artificial intelligence, but it can be for technology. So trust, that I think is a good word, but verify. So we have the responsibility to be in charge of this. I do colonoscopy, and one of the first algorithms approved by the FDA was the detection of polyps in real time in a colonoscopy. I think it's a good example because the endoscopies, the gastroenterologists decide if to remove the polyp or not, if it's a false positive or false negative. So we are in charge, but the technology helped us. The other day, Eric Topol said, it's amazing. Now it will be the first generation that of medical doctors, healthcare professionals that don't have to type and can see and can look into the patient's eyes. But it has been decades. So we have to educate and we have to teach again how to see the patients, how to look at their eyes, and how to listen to them without a computer in front of between the patients and us. We have that responsibility. So trust, but verify.
Yeah, that's a great point. And Rafael, you know better than anyone the challenges of our healthcare system and the incentives that are sometimes misaligned. How do we ensure this next wave of technology can be put towards better patient care and not just advantages for the systems, the payers, the providers and the patients might not get the full benefit. Oh, I think we lost Rafael for a second. Um, what do you think, Javier? I mean, in Spain, what are some of the legislative or other activities ongoing to look at an equitable approach to use of AI and other digital health tools, so that it's a
It's
fair kind of fair system.
It seems that Rafael is in Sevilla and I'm in the United States, Evan.
Okay, hence the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because we talk about United States, and the United States look at us as Europe as a one, and it's very difficult. It's different. I have worked in Portugal, Spain, and the Netherlands, and have three different health systems, similar but not the same at all. So here we are more, public health system. We're focusing in our patients, and maybe private and insurance company has more power and strength there in the United States. But maybe Rafael can talk about the United States system better than me.
Yeah. I guess Rafael, sorry for the technical glitch here. Just talking about the incentives that exist in our healthcare system, for-profit system, and what that means for the tools, whether they get put towards the best use for patients and their doctors, and not simply for profits and for automation and optimization and financial modeling and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Sorry about the technical issues, and that only highlights how important it is to really get technology to serve us, appropriately. So, we've had the value-based focus, right? Supposedly, right, in the United States for quite a bit now, rather than sort of fee-for-service, traditional way medicine worked. Still, the value-based it seems very lot like fee for service in a way, especially when the value itself is a very ethereal term. I see it when I think about how technologies like generative AI can improve that value. So what is the value? Is it the decreasing the cost? This is improving the outcome. Is it improving the experience of the patient? Is it improving the experience of the provider? Well, it should be all of those, right? That's where value is that's to me what value is. You do what is best for the patient, but you're having the best experience for you and the patient. You're having the least expense, and things are happening, more efficient, and at the end, the outcome is the best outcome for that particular patient. So I always add to those four pillars, I add the pillar of technology and the pillar of humanity. So it's like a table with 6 legs instead of 4, because I really think that having I really, it's almost I reverberate about this, but it is, technology only works if it makes us more humane, if it, in medicine at least, if it allows us to be that caring physician that everyone loves, right? Even if you have a poor outcome, even if your relative dies, you still love that physician or that provider that really helped you go through that journey. And I think that AI has the power of doing that. Like I really, with passion, I feel that the new generation of AI can help us get there. And in the US, I think that we're still obviously, like in most of the world, pretty raw in regards to getting anywhere close to there. And I think that the trend of value-based medicine is a perfect setup, a perfect ecosystem to really exploit the powers of this again, godlike technology in a way.
Wow, that is one to think about. That is quite a meaningful, as always. I'm going to reflect on that for a while. And Javier, one thing I always feel in Europe, you have a very strong sense of privacy, data protection, uh, patients' rights to some degree that don't exist in the US. We're a bit of the Wild West when it comes to privacy. How can we ensure that all this data doesn't just get caught up in the, commercial advertising industrial complex, and that patients won't have the rights to their own data, to privacy, to protection? And this is a crucial topic in medicine. And we've seen, at least here in the US, lots of lapses in this area. What are the risks here?
Yeah, the other day I read your genetic information cost $100 and your neighbor
Mm,
genetic information 10. So that's terrible. There's a lot of sensitive information of healthcare out there. Um, yeah, we have to regulate that, absolutely. And yeah, Europe is trying to do it. Talking about generative artificial intelligence, the last thing in June, start to try to regulate inside the laws for the artificial intelligence. But I think we have to have a balance, because we must go and use health data, but health data with privacy. So all these projects of data lakes about talking about health, I think it's a good idea. And maybe the future it can be synthetic data also, so data that is not real,
mm.
to try models and have outcomes of these, and can help. So I think the future is amazing. And as Rafael said, with artificial intelligence, now every week we have some news. So we talk about ChatGPT, and it's not 1 year.
Mm.
It started 30th of November last year. If we talk about multimodality, it's a few months. So what can be in 2 years? This is crazy. This is going fast, but we have to have ethics and privacy for sure.
Well, for sure, but nothing for sure here in the US. Rafael, we've seen data breaches in healthcare systems every day. I just saw 23andMe. I had all my genetic info there, had a hack, and all of its info was sucked up for God knows what purposes. We have, pretty intensive marketing on social targeted towards people's private diseases or conditions. We have the abortion debate, which has huge ethical implications for for privacy and security. So is this only going to get worse as big data and AI come to the forefront? What do you think?
Unfortunately, I think so. I think that technologies develop in parallel, and as you create fascinating technologies, like for example generative AI, the hackers masters go along in regards to how much better they get, and I don't think that we'll ever be in a point where we're free and safe from that. I'm a little bit of a geek surgeon, right? But I'm not a technical, expert or hacker or cybersecurity person, other than a little bit beyond the basics. But unfortunately, I think that is a problem that is going to continue, and then it's going to take a very emphatic approach, as it is happening. But even though it's happening, and cybersecurity is a field that is growing in parallel tremendously fast, I think that the good players and the bad players develop alongside, and I don't think we'll be free, and I don't want to say that we need to tolerate it, but we need to find ways to live with it. Unfortunately, yeah, we talk about regulation. We can regulate all we want. We can,
Mm.
but at the same time, they're going to happen. I remember when blockchain was starting, and we saw, oh, blockchain is going to be the solution, right? You got, a point A to point B communication, impossible to, well, there's always ways to break that, and things that we thought impossible just a year ago, now they are possible. So things that we thought were going to take decades are going to take months now. Again, go back to artificial general intelligence, the singularity, right? We thought that was a utopic thing back in the next 50 to 100 years.
Science fiction, yeah.
Most people think that within 3 to 5 years we're going to be there. So how do we cope with that? How the concept of hacking information, the concept of privacy, what does that mean? The life is going to be completely different. I don't want to be a techno philosopher, but but we have to be, right? Because we look at what the future is going to be like in 3 years, and I have no clue about that. Things that we could not imagine are happening right now, and every my good friend Javier said, every week, every day there is a new app, or there's a new feature, or there's a new thing, and I hope this is you that I'm talking with, Evan Kirstel, and it's not like some avatar, some AI avatar that is and you're giving a conference in New York today, but it could be, and we will not be able to tell. So the concept of what's real and what's not, the concept of what is good or bad, the concept of what is ethical or unethical, it's going to be so mixed up that I think that's why Javier and I are so concerned about the non-ethical use of these technologies in healthcare. We need to make a very dedicated, strong, pinpoint effort to really hammer the ethical use of the ethical development and use of AI in healthcare.
Indeed. Well, let's end on a positive, uplifting note. We've addressed some of the challenges and dark sides, dark potential of the tech and this misuse. But what are some of the technologies you're really excited by that are on the horizon, that you're even using, Rafael, in your practice? I mean, give us the top three tools, apps, services that you think are either changing or will change the landscape of medicine.
Do you mean in regards to generative AI?
Yeah, anything on your radar? I know you're an XR.
Yeah.
You're in all kinds of fascinating applications of technology.
Yeah, lately I've really focusing more and more in the coalescence of XR, which is extended realities, VR,
Mhm.
AR, mixed reality. I've been on that theme for a number of years, and adding, the sensory channels to that, haptics especially, how you can sort of make the so-called metaverse or the real player one sort of experience, the matrix experience, be a reality when you can be in a artificial or computer generated environment, but not just listening and seeing in high definition, but also touching and feeling and enhancing your senses by different tools. So that is one thing that to me is very exciting, that we're using already in education, we're using for diagnostics, for preoperative planning, and we're also using even for therapeutics in the operating room. You have a company like Medivus that got a surgical AI a tool now that superimpose the digital world on the patient's head, for example, in the operating room, and they can guide us and they can perform a procedure sort of in a extended reality or using extended reality tools, not before or after, but during a procedure. That is something that is blowing me away, and it will be the very near future of how we do many surgical procedures. And if you add, then the other field would be, in addition to extended reality, a generative AI. If you add an AI algorithm, right, to that, so imagine the power of these tools guiding us, of this godlike presence, AI aiding us, helping us navigate whatever problems we have. And obviously you need to create more data to train the systems, and train the systems with the proper the proper data without bias, with taking into account diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's super important. But again, AI and extended reality, that makes, to me, it's fascinating, and it's being used more and more, almost in a weekly basis. You're getting news. I just talked to a friend that created a new way to read information generated by AI, and it's still, it's pretty early, but instead of reading the normal way we read, in a sort of in a horizontal way, we're going to be reading in a almost in a flash sort of ways, where you have minimal effort, and you maximize the eye brain connection. So
Wow.
there's so many things happening out there, and it's so fascinating that I just can't wait to see what the next month is going to bring, not even the next 3 years. So I think those technologies are developing quickly, and if the companies that are developing, if the healthcare systems that are adopting, if the universities that are thinking to adopt these technologies do not take into account the voices of physicians that are sort of geek physicians, if you want to call them, or techno philosophers or whatever, who are seeing patients on a daily basis, who are in the trenches, in the front lines, or whatever we want to call them, hearing the frustrations and the bad cries of providers out there, to learn about the problems and be able to solve them with the proper use of technology. I think that you're going to fall behind.
Wow. Well, that's quite a takeaway from this discussion. And Javier, what about you? I mean, you're involved in the metaverse and the applications of these concepts in healthcare. What excites you on the tech front as an optimist?
Yeah, now that's why I love to talk with Rafael, because he's amazing. Okay, yeah. For me, digital health, digital twin is going to change many paradigms, and it's changing all the treatment. Many years with all these P of digital health, personalized, preventive, personalized health will come with digital health, digital twin. So for you have type of treatment for your disease, and it's different for another person, and woman with 20 years less, and so digital twin is changed many things. I don't want to put an example, but mental health has to change. Mental health is a real epidemic inside the pandemic. So it needs help, and technology can help mental health. For me, is the part of the healthcare, that it's not it's need to be help. Mental health, it's and technology can do with anxious, with depression, with burnout. Even there's a gastroenterology in Sinai, Bregan Spiegel, that is amazing. It's treating IBS with virtual reality, and that's important for mental health.
Wow.
And now generative artificial intelligence, multimodal. So I tried with I do endoscopy. So I put a picture and I say, "What is this?" Trust but verify. So yeah, I'm gastroenterology since 21 years, so I know the answer. But you can have an amazing information because we forget that many people open their mobile phones with the face, and it's more rare. It's more difficult to open with all our faces that recognize a polyp in the colon. So, it's amazing. But for artificial intelligence, it's simple. So I think I would say that digital twin, mental health that need helps, and the multimodal in generative artificial intelligence.
Wow, that's a roadmap and landscape we can all get excited about. Well, thank you both so much, gentlemen. I know you're very busy practicing and you're taking the time out to share your insights. So thanks for watching, everyone, and spread the word. Reach out to both doctors. Their websites here on social media, on LinkedIn and Twitter, and get behind this movement and reach out with any questions. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.